Okay, so we're back for part 2 of the video, and the next thing that I take off boards is the MLCCs. So for anyone who's not familiar with the MLCCs, this is an MLCC in here, there's some small ones here, some really small ones along there, some probably on the back as well. We'd usually find some on the board, so I collect them up. They're very, very small. So as you can see there, they're very, very small. And again, the easiest method I find is the chisel. So again, you just put the chisel there, twist the chisel, and they'll come off. So get one up there. So again, that's our MLCC. So again, I just put them into the container. That we have there. So that's my container of MLCCs. So again, it's something you can do fairly straightforward. Just sit down and you just get your chisel, and again, you can wear gloves. I'd advise you wearing gloves. Sometimes the chisel can slip, but I'm kind of used to it now at this stage, so it's not something that I get caught too often with, but I still get caught the odd time. So I'd advise you put on a glove or some sort for doing it, but that's your MLCCs. I'll just show you on a different board now some more of them, if we can find them. So some of them will be very, very small. So you can see here, there's a line of them here. So again, it's just a matter of getting the chisel and just moving the chisel along, and there we have 3 of them off in one little go. So it's straightforward to take them off. They're not the hardest thing on the board to remove, but they will contain platinum metal, platinum group metals. So I'll collect them up and I'll process them. Now some of the newer ones will not contain it, but I just collect them all up, and it's hit and miss when I process them. Some days when I process, I'll have a good one, another one will be pretty poor depending on what type of MLCCs I had at the time. So that's just showing you there on that board. Let me see again, we'll get another board and we'll have a quick look and see if there's any. Sometimes you might get some very, very large ones on boards, so I want to see if I could find some of the larger ones to show you. They're just standard enough sizes. Again, they're small enough. Ones on there, there's nothing too large, and again there's some on there but they're very small. But again, we'll just take one off or 2 off for you. So we have one here, so you can just see him here under the chisel. So just move the chisel and he's off. So that's him there. So again, just put him in the container. So most boards will have some MLCCs on them. Some are very small, some are larger, but again, this board, let me have a look and see if he's anything on it in an MLCC. So no, I don't see any. I see one little MLCC in here. So again, just get the chisel, move the chisel in underneath them, and it just cuts them off. So you can remove them out then. So that's them there, little MLCC. Okay, so the other next item then that I look to take off the boards is tantalums. So tantalums come in 2 different colours, or could be a lot of different colours actually, 3 or 4. The older tantalums will be different again, but I don't think I have any board with the old tantalums on them. I don't. But we'd say the new tantalums come in different colours, usually black and actually now before I move on to the tantalums, here it's 2 larger MLCCs. So we have them here. So again, it's just a matter of using the chisel and twist, and that just turns them off there. So we've taken off, and that's them there. Our tantalum. Well, our tantalum or MLCC. So that's the MLCC. So let me just get some ones with tantalums on them. If we can locate some. I see some black tantalums and orange. There we go. So that's a tantalum. So it's got like a yellow with a little orange stripe on it. So again, to take him off, straightforward, pliers, and off he comes. Oh, so that's my tantalum. You can use heat again, the heat gun to do it. If you heat gun the whole board, everything comes off and you can siphon through the board and find them. Or you can just use that method there, just pulling them off. And again, these are a type of tantalum. Now the ones with the pluses I do usually look for, but I also take them off when I'm at it, because when you're doing the board, it's just easy to twist them off and take them off. And again, the same, just twist them off and away we go. So there's not much to taking them off the boards, so that's just straightforward again on them. Is there any on this side? No, I'll just try to see if I can get another one. Have a look at this board, see if I have any. Now them things there, I'm not sure are they a tantalum or not of type, but I just remove them as an IC chip at the moment, and then if I find out they're tantalums, I can put them in with tantalums at a later date. Again, these here, it could possibly be a tantalum of the older type, but I don't think it is. It's usually a bigger one of them, so I don't see any tantalums there, because I'm looking on this is an older board just to see if I can see some of the blue ones on them. Don't. So let me have a look at this board. So again, we have two of the orange type here, another one up here, or the yellowy orange with the orange stripe, and that's the black one again that I'll remove, but I'm looking for the one with the plus on it just to show you what to look out for, but I don't see it on that, so I'll put them aside for a minute until I try and find one. Talk among yourselves there, guys, while you're waiting. There we go. Boom. Found him. So he is down here. I think is that the one? No, that's not the one. Where am I gone? There he is. So see the one there with the plus on it? That's the black tantalums I was on about. So again, he's in an awkward spot, so I mightn't get him out that easy. I might have to use a chisel or something instead of the pliers. Just see if my chisel can go in under him and loosen him out. It's breaking off this thing beside it, but it might give me enough room to get in if I break that off. There we go. So that's him off. So again, it's just a little black with a grey or whitish with a blue, with a plus in the middle, like a cross sign. So that's another tantalum. Again, there's people in America, I see there's a crowd in, I think it's in Florida, buy it in. So anyone that's in America can collect them up and sell them by the pound to them. Just another source, rather than throwing out your boards and getting not enough value for them, you can take that off it. So then the next item we'll move on to that I take off the boards is these. Here again, these will have gold pins in them. So this is where the RAM or the slot card's slotted in. So again, you can use the heat gun to remove them by heating the underside of it. So again, a lot of other bits will fall off. I have a little galvanized bucket. If you look back on videos where I've done this before, you'll see where I've used the heat gun and it has removed everything. So everything falls into the bucket and then you just pick out what you want on them. Just have a look here, a few other things. It's good for taking off the IC chips as well, these small IC chips. The heat gun will do that. So again, you'll see that now in a second. I'll use that method, the heat gun method, to remove these from the board. So once you come back, after I've done that, I'll also show you how to pull out the pins on them for the gold recovery, for storing up your pins. So it's a straightforward method. And then the other little things in I look for on the boards that I kind of pull off the boards is the likes of these. Well, actually, hold on. So we'll go first and we'll take off the heat gun will do the job on them, and then we'll come back. Okay, so we're going to remove next is these. So again, these are what your RAM would have plugged into, or your slot card, stuff like that will plug into the likes of them. So we're going to heat them up. I'm going to heat them on the reverse side, so on the back side of them. So we have there them on the front. I'm going to heat them on the reverse side, and hopefully they'll fall off down into the thing. So what I do as well is, before I heat them up, is I like to remove these little legs that have on them there. So they're little metal legs. I just break them off on them. So I just take them off. So all I have then is the two, sorry about that, all I have there is the two things. So again, I'm going to get the gun up to temperature, and we'll come back and we'll start working on them. Okay, gun is up to temperature. So that's from there, so we gauge that they're roughly around that direction. Okay guys, so again we let them cool down to the touch, and then we'll come back and we'll take the pins out. I'll show you how to take the pins out of them. Okay guys, so now let's take these pins out. So as you can see the little glint of gold in there from them, and you can see the little fingers, wires just sticking out. I just have a little container. So again, much the same as what I've done with the other pins, is just I grab them with a pliers or something on the flat surface and just pull them out. Well, there we go. So you can see there, we take them out and it's got a little bit of a gold glint to it. So that's the gold pin, so we'll just do it again. So just there again, same thing, some more of them. So I usually have a better snips than this for it. This one is not the one I usually use, and I don't know where I've put it down, the one I usually use to take them out. But you can see there, they just pull them out, put them in there, and that's what I do with the pins. That's how I collect up the pins for processing. Again, it'll be the same on the other one. I'll show you now in a second. I just wanted to take a few more of these pins out. I won't do them all, I'll do them all off camera or whatever. I just wanted to show you how I do it. Same with this one. So again, same idea again. You can see the glint of gold, and the underside you can see the pins actually sticking out. So again, just grip and pull against. So you can see there we've got a good bunch of them, and you can see the gold on them. So again, just drop them in there. So again, the same, got a nice bunch. If we can get that camera to focus, there we go. Again, you can see the gold on them. So again, just drop them in there. So it's fairly easy to collect them up. Again, you can pass a few hours watching TV, just pulling them out like this and just dropping them into the container like that. It doesn't take that long to clear them off, but they all add up after a while. So we'll just have a quick look. Put that aside for doing later. They're my ones to do later. Okay, so you can see them in there, the gold little plated pins. So let's move on to the next part of the video. So let's see what else I take off the boards. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you that I remove off the boards is these little CPU whatever sockets. So that's where your CPU will click in there. So I just want to show you how to remove. They will contain little bits of gold, again, gold flash pins in them. So I'll show you how I remove that again. I'll be using the heat gun method. It's one of my favourite ways of doing things, is the heat gun method. It's probably not the most efficient, but it's the way I do it. So as I was saying, this is the way I do it, and everyone just takes their own way of doing it. You can take it off with a chisel, you can take it off with anything sharp you want to get in underneath and just break it off, stuff like that. But I like to use the heat gun method. So we'll go and have a look at the way I take it off. It's just another item I hold on to from the boards. Okay guys, so what I'm going to do on this part now is show you how I remove these here. So again, this is what would have held your CPU in place. So we'll heat up the heat gun, and we're just going to heat the opposite side to it. So the underside, which is here, we're going to heat that up, and it should just fall off into the bucket once it gets hot enough. So we'll do that. Okay, so that's it off. You can see here now it has fallen down into the bucket. So it can finish this nice clean finish. You're just left with some solder. You can see little glints of gold, I think, on that solder. So I may try and recover that solder at some stage. And that is it. So there will be gold plated pins inside of that, again where the CPU pins went into it. So again, I hold on to all them and smash them up, and I'll show you in future videos how I deal with that. So again, that's something worth holding on to from the board. So let's go back to the main part of the video. Now, and another thing that I always try and take off the boards as well is the crystal oscillator, or ceramic crystal oscillators. So if anyone's not familiar with them, that there is a ceramic crystal oscillator. It's got a little gold band that goes around it and usually contains gold inside of it. So again, I'll remove that by, you can either remove it with a chisel or you can remove by the heat gun. Again, I'll be removing by the heat gun. I'll just show you how I take that off. So we'll go there now and we'll have a look at how I take them off, and in future videos you'll find where I will process them. So keep an eye out for future videos where I'll process them. Again, you'll find a lot of them in mobile phone boards as well. I just thought I'd show you there while I had a mobile phone board nearby. So again, that's another one of them there. You'll find a lot of them in mobile phone boards. And just while we're on the topic of mobile phone boards, I just want to show you one of the chips out of the mobile phone board. So I'm at it. So again, I do remove all these chips from the mobile phone board, so I'm actually working on them at the moment. I have a lot of mobile phone boards that I'm working, and then I'll process you'll see in videos I've done there how I remove the gold from there. But this is one of the chips, and there was inside of it, and when you split it open from the back, if you can peel it off fairly easy sometimes, I'll just give you a look. So that's all, you can see the gold bonding wires inside of them chips. So I just said I'd give a look at that to show you that there is gold wires inside the chips. So that's it there, and again inside that black cap that I took off will be gold bonding wires again. So that'll be incinerated with the rest of the IC chips and RAM chips and stuff like that. When I'm doing it, I just burn them down, and I usually just burns with it, and then you just process it. But I will have a video coming on that as well. So let's go back to have a look at the ceramic crystal oscillators. So we'll go to that now. Okay guys, so now we're going to have a look at this, closer look at this ceramic oscillator here. So that's our ceramic oscillator. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to heat up the gun to get it nice and hot, get that heated up, and then we should be able to just take that ceramic oscillator off, give you a closer look at it. Inside of them will usually be gold. There'll be a little bit of gold inside them, and there could be possibly silver, but it's the gold I'd be looking for on it. So again, you can use the heat gun to take them off. You can use the heat gun to actually take off these LCCs if you want as well. But for this, I'll just show you here on this. So we'll come back once I get the gun heated up. Okay, so we have the gun fully heated up now, up to the 600 degrees again, and we're just going to heat the ceramic oscillator. What we're doing is heating it to allow the solder to melt, and that will allow the ceramic oscillator to fall off, and we can get a closer look at it. So that's it loosened up. So I'll just turn off the gun, put that aside, and we'll just try and get it onto the end of the chisel. So we have it on the end of the chisel. So that's it on the end of the chisel, a bit hard to see, but we'll put it onto the heat resistant glove, turn it over, and that's the ceramic underneath that I was on about. So you can see there the ceramic plating underneath it, and then on the other side, if I can get it to sit on the glove, you can see the gold band that I was on about. You can see this little gold band goes around it, if I can get it down along there. And inside of that, when we break them open, which I do in future videos when I'm dealing with them, you will see the little bit of gold that's inside of them. So that's what's inside, or that's how I take off the ceramic oscillators for gold recovery. Sorry about the shadowing. I'll try and bring it down so it's not as much. So there we have it there. So that's that. So let's go back to the video. Okay, now that you have seen how to remove the ceramic crystal oscillator and what it looks like, that's kind of it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed them, the part 1 and 2. This is part 2 of it. So we've gone through the boards, shown you what I've taken out. I take off the boards. Let me know in the comments, is there something I missed that I should be taking off the boards? Is there something that you don't bother taking off yourselves? Hope this video was a help to you. To show you what's on the boards, what's worth taking off, what's not worth taking off, and that's kind of it for the video. Also, I've been asked to do a video soon on what I have collected up so far, so I'll give you a look at that, but I can't really show my RAM figures because I've just gone through processing a lot of RAM figures, but I'll show you the actual gold from them that I've got so far, and some of the other stuff that I've collected up in the jars and stuff, so that's ready to go. So we'll do a video on that soon for another subscriber that asked me about it. And guys, thanks for checking out these videos. Thanks for all the support you're giving me. It's brilliant. I really appreciate it, and I'm glad that a lot of people are enjoying this stuff that I'm doing, and hopefully more people will get to join up and come along this journey where we'll see what ends up at the end with gold, on how we get on with the gold recovery. And till the next one, guys, keep safe and keep on looking for that gold.